Today I want to pick a more positive topic. Last episode I talked about there being less Disney, and like listening to the episode again, I feel like it came off a bit negative. That wasn't my intention. I just wanted to like honestly talk about my thoughts about Disney, but it seemed like I was really hating on like what Kingdom Hearts was doing. So like that wasn't my intention. So hopefully this one will be more positive because I want to talk about something about Kingdom Hearts which I actually really like, and that is the hidden bosses that the Kingdom Hearts games have. So the hidden bosses I feel like are such a cool thing in the Kingdom Hearts games, and some examples of this are the Lingering Will in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, the data battles in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, the mysterious figure in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. I'd even count Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts 2. I'm sure there's some in Kingdom Hearts 1, I just don't know that game as well as the other ones. And like these boss fights, I think, at least in my opinion, were like almost like a pillar of my childhood, because when you were a kid, and like at least for me when I was a kid and we played games, you know, when you had a game, you have to play that game for a while. It's not like when you were done with the game, you just like bought a new one and you could play it. It's like, no, you had a game, you had to play this honestly for months and months. And so like whenever there was a game that had more content or secret content, I always loved, especially with Kingdom Hearts 2. I have like very like clear memories of me just gliding around the world of Kingdom Hearts 2, trying to like go to every single corner of every road, trying to see, yo, is there another secret I can find? Because I just want to explore every single nook and cranny of this game. And the fact that there were some secrets, the fact that there was a Sephiroth battle and the data battles and the Lingering Will, it was just like really fun. When I played as a kid, I played the normal Kingdom Hearts 2 version. Final Mix I played, you know, like in high school. So when I was a kid, Sephiroth was the main thing that I got to face, and I remember loving that fight. It was so intense. I loved it, and like I remember it being very hard. These days, I think like when I think I played it on KhUnlimited, I have a video of me fighting it again. I think I was able to beat it on my first try, so it wasn't as hard as I remembered. But I remember as a kid, it was just the most intense thing, and I feel like something about having hidden bosses, especially them being hard bosses, had a certain spark that kind of was like almost like childlike. I just really liked the games having hidden bosses, and hopefully that is something we get to see more in the future games, because in Kingdom Hearts 3 they did, I do remember one. I only played Kingdom Hearts 3 once, so my memory on it isn't the best, but I do remember there was one in the Keyblade Graveyard which I did really enjoy. And obviously, actually no, there was another one. They obviously had the Yozora. Actually no, what am I saying? They had the one in the Keyblade Graveyard, they had Yozora, they had Data Battle. So Kingdom Hearts 3 had a lot actually. I think it's because most of them came in the DLC, so I forgot about it, but Kingdom Hearts 3 kept it alive. But it is something I enjoy. And the funny thing about this is something that I would want in the future games. But now that I think about it, is I don't want it for myself. I just want it for like the new generation of fans. Like I mentioned, when I was a kid, those were the things I really loved playing. I loved exploring games for a long time and finding those secrets. And I'm sure the generation now, that isn't a thing they do. I'm sure like they might just like go through games quickly, whereas we, or at least I, had to play a game for a long time. But like I'm hoping there's like some audience that still kind of has that childlike wonder where they're exploring and trying to find a secret boss, and that's there for them. Because I believe I mentioned this maybe on the podcast or one of my older videos, I'm an old man at this point in terms of gaming. Like I'm just really bad at games. Every game I play is on easy mode if it's like a real-time combat game. So Kingdom Hearts 3 I played on beginner. Final Fantasy 16, like actually that doesn't have difficulty, but like if there's a difficulty mode, I will usually play on easy if it's a real-time combat game. If it's turn-based, I'll keep it on normal because that's kind of more of a thinky game. But if it's a real-time combat game, I just don't have the patience to fight a boss more than once. So usually when I'm playing a real-time combat game, and if I fight a boss and I die, I'll probably try a couple more times. But if I keep dying in the game, like even if the game is like, if the game is moderately fun, I'll try it for a bit. But if it's like being to the point where it's kind of unfair, or where I would have to really try hard and memorize the patterns of the boss, I will probably just drop the game, or at least put it down for a while and come back to it. And so that's just who I am now. The only times I will actually come back is if I think the boss is actually designed very well and that I'm losing because of me, not because I think it's cheap and I have to just learn the patterns to win. Because if a boss fight is just me needing to memorize patterns, I think that's boring. This is gonna sound kind of pretentious maybe, but like my favorite boss fights, and when I play games on like the default mode or the easy mode or whatever, I like thinking of it in the perspective of me being the hero, and as if I'm actually playing through the battle, like as if it's real life. And what I mean is, like, for the main character, when they're fighting the boss fight, they don't actually die. Obviously they're not dying. They have to fight this boss fight. They're getting attacked. They have to adapt to whatever the boss is doing, and at the end of the day, they have to win to continue the story. And so whenever I play games and I'm able to do that, I'm able to fight the boss fight, I'm seeing it for the first time and I'm adapting to its patterns and I beat it, it feels kind of good. It feels kind of satisfying because I'm like, yeah, that's what the main character had to do. Obviously, they wouldn't have died, and obviously they wouldn't have time to memorize their patterns by doing multiple attempts. No, they would have to beat the boss on their first try. And so that's kind of the experience I like. And the way this tangent connects to Kingdom Hearts is because usually with Kingdom Hearts bosses, they're never like that. You're never actually able to beat them in your first try, and you actually have to fight them multiple times to beat them. And pretty much the reason I kind of said this entire story is because this point, while I really want this to be there for kind of like the next generation of Kingdom Hearts fans, it's not for me because I'm probably not going to be fighting these bosses. I'm just being honest. They're usually too hard for me. Like I mentioned, I played Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix when I was in high school, and at that point I was already kind of waning in terms of my skill. And when it came to me fighting the Lingering Will, I just wasn't able to beat it, and it was just too hard for me. And at that point, I just didn't beat it, and I just never did that. Kingdom Hearts 3, I believe I was able to beat the data battle somehow because I was playing on the easy mode. Yozora I wasn't able to beat. I dropped that too. I don't feel the need to beat them anymore. And if I die enough times, I'm like, yeah, that's good. I got the experience and that's all. So if these hidden bosses stay in Kingdom Hearts, which I hope they do, hopefully they are still equally as hard. And even though I know I won't be able to beat them, hopefully there are other people and maybe a new generation of Kingdom Hearts fans which will enjoy them.